Light, Class 8, Chapter 16, Fifth part. Now the topic is eye, the natural optical instrument. Children, we know eye is our sense organ. It helps us to see the wonderful world. Eye is a remarkable organ. Its working is similar to a photographic camera. The eyelids protect the eyes from injury by acting as shutter of the eye. Now main parts of the eye, these are described below. First part is cornea. Cornea. It is a transparent spherical membrane in front of the eye. Light enters the eye through cornea. Now the second part is iris and pupil. Iris. This is a dark colored muscular diaphragm and which has a small circular opening in its middle. Iris. This is a dark colored muscular diaphragm. The colored part of the eye that we see, so that is iris, and it has a small circular opening, a hole in the center, so that is called pupil. Children, here you are seeing a diagram of human eye. Human eye, this is spherical structure. In the front cornea, pupil, these are present. Iris, this is the colored part, colored and muscular part. And behind these, lens is present, eye lens. There are the two types of the liquids present. These are the aqueous humor and vitreous humor. Vitreous humor. The liquid substances present in between the eye, before the lens or after the lens. Optic nerve, this is also present, which carries the message to the brain. The central circular aperture of the iris, this is called pupil, and which appears black because no light is reflected from it. The iris, this regulates the amount of light entering the eye through the pupil. The size of the pupil, this can be increased or decreased depending upon the amount of light entering the eye. Now the third part is eye lens. The eye lens, this is a convex lens. Children, we have studied about the lens. Convex lens. Eye lens, this is a convex lens made up of transparent jelly-like material. The eye lens, this is held in position by the ciliary muscles. These muscles are very important because they help in changing the focal length of the eye lens to see far and near objects clearly. The area between cornea and the lens, this is filled with transparent liquid, and this liquid is called aqueous humor. The next part of the eye is retina. Retina, this is the very important part. The inside surface of the rear part of the eyeball, this is called the retina. Or we can say our eye has three layers. The innermost layer is retina. The eye lens focuses the image of the object on the retina by bending the light rays. Retina, this is the screen on which the image is formed. The area between eye lens and retina, this is filled with jelly-like transparent substance, and this substance is called vitreous humor. The retina is covered with large number of nerve cells, which are of two types, cones and rods. Cones and rods. Cones are sensitive to bright light, while rod cells, these are sensitive to dim light. These cones and rods get sensitized by light and generate impulses that can be read by brain. The brain then sends back messages that tell us what we have seen. Thus, the function of retina is to receive the optical image of the object and then convert it to optical pulses. These pulses are sent to the brain through optic nerve. Now the next part is yellow spot. This is an important small area facing the eye lens, which has quite a good amount of nerve endings. It is slightly raised and yellowish in color. It forms a very clear image by sending a large number of optical pulses to brain. And the next is blind spot. It is a small area at the junction of the optic nerve and the retina. It has no nerve ending, so no vision is possible at this spot. Any image formed on this spot is not visible. So this is called blind spot. This part is called blind spot. So these two spots, yellow spot and blind spots, they are very much different from each other. Yellow spot has good amount of nerve ending, whereas blind spot, it has no nerve ending. At yellow spot, the vision is very clear, but on blind spot, no vision is clear. Now come to activity 10. Aim is to observe reaction and size of pupil to a shining torch. You can do this activity with the help of your friend or brother or sister in a dark room. Now method or procedure is: first, observe the size of the pupil of your brother's eye. Now switch on the torch and throw its light on his eye. Note the size of the pupil. It will shrink. Switch off the torch and again note the size of his pupil. It will get enlarged. Now observation is: in dim light or in dark, pupil enlarges more so that more light can pass through its hole, while in bright light the pupil shrink. Now conclusion of this activity: whenever you try to see things in a dark room, your pupil enlarges more than in the bright lighted room. This happens when you enter a theater and there is a dark. Then your eyes take a time to see something. Activity 11. Aim is to demonstrate the blind spot. Procedure is: take a white sheet of paper. On its one end, make a cross. Again make a round spot. To the right of the cross, at a distance of about 7 cm to the cross, as shown in the pic. Now close your left eye. Hold the sheet at some same distance from the eye and look at the cross continuously. Move the sheet slowly towards your eye, keeping your eye on the cross. You will find that round mark disappear at some point. Now repeat this activity by closing your right eye. This time look at the round mark. Again you will find that while moving the sheet towards your eye, the cross mark disappear at some point. This disappearance of cross or round mark shows that there is a point on retina which cannot send messages to the brain when light falls on it, and this is the blind spot. Accommodation of eye. Accommodation of eye. Our eye can see the nearby as well as distant object clearly and quickly, and this ability of eye lens to see nearby as well as distant object clearly by adjusting its focal length, this is called accommodation of eye, or we can say power of accommodation. The least distance of distinct vision, this is 25 centimeter, means our eye can see minimum object placed at 25 centimeter. In other words, a normal human eye cannot see the object clearly whose distance is less than 25 centimeter. So this is called the near point of distinct vision, and which is 25 centimeter. The far point of normal human eye, this is infinity. Ciliary muscles, they change the thickness of the lens to adjust the focal length of the eyes. When objects from far distance are focused, then the ciliary muscle relaxes, thus making the lens thinner. When the eye has to focus on object near it, then the ciliary muscle stretches, making the lens thicker. The focal length reduces, which makes the image form clearly on the retina. So this is the ciliary muscles which help in focusing the image of the object on the retina by increasing or decreasing the focal length of the eye lens by contracting and relaxing.